Yo, 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 what's up? This is Tom from Judging with your girls in the peach capital of the state, baby boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Man, I cleaned this lens, but I'm telling you, once you turn this camera on, it just does it again. What's up, Henry? What's up, Caroline? We got a lot of stuff done this morning. We are going to wire up a trinary switch. Trinary switch is the switch for the AC system. All right. This is a binary. Bi meaning two. Meaning two. Tri meaning three. All right. So this is a binary switch because it has two. And then you have a trinary switch which has three. All right. So that's what we're going to do. And we're going to see how this works out on everything. Trying to hide wires that wasn't intentionally supposed to be on a 63 Impala is very taxing, to say the least. Like, I don't know what that is. What is that? What is that? I mean, I probably know what that is. I just never heard that term before. What is that? What's a JOA switch? What is that? So here is the trinary switch. Oh, joggle off and on. Oh yeah. Here is the here's the trinary switch right there. So with that being said, we're going to what's up, Elko? So we're going to wire up this trinary switch, and you got to put wires. You got wires that's in, like, you're putting more wires in a 63 Impala that wasn't in a 63 Impala. You know what I mean? So you try to make it as neat as possible, you know. So, like I said, you try to make it as neat as possible, and you try to make it accessible in case you have to come back. If you have to come back and work on a son of a gun, which you will have to come back and work on it. Best believe that. I mean, nothing is set in stone. Absolutely nothing is set in stone. Nothing. Nothing ain't set in stone except your gravestone. That's the only thing that's set in stone. Best believe that. And sometimes that ain't even set in stone. Sometimes they come and tear that son of a gun down. So that's what we're doing. It's supposed to be like 70. I'm gonna show y'all guys here in a second. Just hold on. It's supposed to be like 72 degrees today, around 1 o'clock. And if it gets that warm, if it gets that warm today, which it probably will, I am going to take the hood and the deck lid for this Impala into the paint booth, and we're going to paint the bottom of the hood and the deck lid today. We're going to spray some paint. I'm just going to paint it red chili pepper red because I got some, and that's close to what this red is. Because the bottom of the hood, every picture that I've seen, the bottom of the hoods are color. So if anybody knows any difference, let me move this up just a little bit. Hold on a second. Let me move this up just a swidgy. If anybody knows any difference, let me know. But what I have found, the bottom of the hood and the bottom of the deck lid in a 63 Impala was body color. So that is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna paint it red, and I know eventually he's gonna paint the car, but I gotta do something because I've already primed the bottom. You know, I got it stripped. So we gotta paint it. We gotta do something. We can't leave it like it is. So that's what I was told, Pops. Are you sure you want to do it? Well, yeah, LS has got a lot of wiring too, and a lot of people don't know how to do it. They think they know how to do it, but they don't know how to do it. And then they get frustrated, and they just don't. They get frustrated, and they just don't know. Honestly, the best thing on the LS swap now, I remember, here's the crazy thing. I remember when people was doing LS swaps where you would have to take the wiring harness, the factory wiring harness, and mail it out and have it depinned. Here's the thing. I've been in this game so long that I can remember where people was taking stock, where there was no technical support for LS because it was new. It was like taboo. Now it's like second nature breath. I remember when you'd have to take the wiring harness, the whole wiring harness and the computer, mail it off somewhere, spend $400 or $500 to have them crack the code, and then go in there and depin they take a wiring harness that big and turn it down to like 5 or 6 wires. I remember that, yeah. So if you're doing an LS swap, like Gary said, right, like LS said, oh yeah, I'm doing some wiring. Yeah, I do everything, man. I do everything. I do it all. See, the difference between me and everybody else, some people just do a little bit. I do it all. Do it all from A to Z. So like Max said, the best thing to do on an LS swap, keep the computer, take the wiring harness, throw it in the dumpster. Don't even go through the trouble to pull the wiring harness. Just pull the computer, the gas pedal, if it's fly-by-wire or fly-by-cable, pull the gas pedal, get the computer, and that's it. Order you a wiring harness. Order you a wire. Matter of fact, let me show you something. There's so much technical support out there now for LS swaps. It is unreal. Let me set y'all right here and let me show you. See this right here? See this? This is a complete aftermarket wiring harness for a 4.8, 5.3, 6.0, and 6.2 LS swap. Let me show you. This right here is the complete. That is the complete harness. Look. Fuse block, computer plug. There's a little daggone click relay. There's another plug. There's all of your GM plugs. Every bit of it. ever single dude. That right there is the whole harness for a 4.8, 5.3, 6.0, 6.2. Right there. Right there. That's the whole harness right there. There's the fuse box. There's the plug for the computer. There's the other plug. Done. 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 Yeah, it's got the port. Done. So that day, the days of y'all pulling wires and trying to figure out this and trying to do that and try to do that, trying to figure out what pin goes where and what pin does that, that shit's over, man. What's up, Tulu? What's up, Gary? What's up, Elko? What's up, A-Raz, 000, yeah. So let me show you what we're doing right here. So this is a Trinary AC switch, right? So this is for the high pressure cutoff, low pressure cutoff, electric fan engagement, and the preset pressure on the fan relay for ground. That's what this is right here. That's what that is. Now, if you're running electric fans, this is what this is, right? If you run a mechanical fan, you need a binary switch. Binary means 2. Trinary means 3. So that's what we're doing this morning. Let me show you on the AC system. So here is the Vintage Air, the Gen 5. We got all that done. We got the relay mounted. Make sure you get a good ground. We got all these wires pulled. Once I run the 5/8 hose, then this right here will be secured, and all this, every bit of this will be behind the kick panel. This right here, these cords right here, this cord right here is for the controllers, right? So that's pretty much it. And then I got to hook up the, we got to hook up the we got to hook up the purple wire, not the tan wire. No, the violet wire. We got to hook up the violet wire for the key on source. And by doing that, that should energize power to everything, and the blower motor should come on. So that should be that today. Here is the water circulator valve for the heat system. And we got that. So we got to get some hoses. We got to go get some hoses. Hoses, H-O-S-E. That's what I said, hoses, H-O-S-E. So the black wire from the AC compressor, you take that wire and it hooks to the green or black wire on the Trinary switch. Doesn't matter which one, you just got to hook it to the black and the green Trinary switch. So this is the blue wire from the AC compressor, right? So here, this is the AC compressor. Here's the wire from the AC compressor. We got it run up through here. All this is getting changed. Every bit of this is getting changed. All that is getting changed. And let me tell you that about that in a second. So this blue wire is coming in here like this, and we're going to hook this blue wire to one of these black and green wires, and then we're going to shrink wrap it, right? Yep. Actually, WTF Mike, when I was talking about the powered bus bar, let me set this down so I can do this wire. So let me set this down so I can work and talk at the same time. So when I was talking yesterday about doing the stuff, WTF Mike, he said that he would send me he sent me a text. He said he would let me know what he used. So Mike sent me, the first picture he sent me was the first, I didn't even bring my connectors over here. The first picture he sent me was a power bus bar that you could activate all of them or you could activate one of them, which they were really nice. They were really nice. I like those, but then he said that he sent me another picture, and then the other picture that he sent me, I'm gonna post it up in my community post, and I need to figure out how to set up my Amazon store. And once I seen that one, he's like, man, this is a whole lot nicer. So the first bus bar that he sent me was just you hook the hot leg to one side, and then you had like 5 ports of hot, right? Which is cool, but there's no circuit breakers in between those connections, right? The second one that he sent me was a little bit nicer. It has, like I said, I'm gonna post it up in the community post. So he said he changed his ideas and he's using this one. Yeah, so, yeah, Mac had a different, so this one here, you give it power, and it's got like 3 or 4 sections with 40 amp fuses, like major power, you know what I'm saying, like major juice. And then it also has a ground side, and I don't know the exact measurements of it, but I'll put it up in the community post, and then we'll go from there. Let me, what's up, 3171? What's up, Tucker Tom? What's up, A and J? So by doing that, I can eliminate a lot of stuff from this battery end. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the welding shop to see if I can get a big crimp, like a double alt crimp, where I can take both of these heavy duty. I think that one's what is that one? That one right there is what is that one? I don't know the size of that one. It's pretty damn gnarly. Take these 2 big ones and put them together. Yeah, see, it came with these ends. See, the AC system came with the ends, and here's the problem. So here's the problem. Here's the issue. And it's in the instructions, right? It's in the instructions. You take this red wire that's wrapped up like a candy cane. You take this red wire, which is hot, and you hook it to this, which is black, which should be ground. So you take this red wire, hook it to this black wire, and then you hook this to the battery, and it's fused. Black and red. So if somebody comes and says, oh shit, they got this on the hot side, that's not right, and they put it on the ground side, it's not gonna work. The second thing on this vintage air system is this orange wire is the power wire for the computer processor in the vintage air box. It goes to this wire, which goes to the battery side. So now you got this and this on the hot side of the battery, plus all that. Because in homes, black are always hot. Yeah, I agree with that, I agree with that guy, this MF guy. I agree with that. In houses, it's not always hot. It's supposed to be, but it ain't always hot. But we're not building a house. We're building a 63 Impala. um, um, so, well, this is in the kit. So what I've done is Mike has showed me, like I said, I'm going to put it up in the community post. It is a circuit breaker, like a power distribution module. It has 40 amp fuses, and then it has some other fuses in there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run the red wire, this candy cane red wire. I'm gonna run this wire. I'm not even gonna use these. Not even gonna use these. I'm gonna take this red wire, the white one is ground. So I'm gonna take this white wire and I'm gonna put it in the ground side of the power distribution module. The red wire, I'm gonna put it on the hot side, which is supposed to be a 10 amp fuse. So I'm gonna put it on the 10 amp fuse on that side. The orange wire, this orange wire right here is a 30 amp fuse. So I'm gonna take this orange wire and put it on the power distribution module on the 30 amp fuse. And then this white wire, I'm gonna put it in the power distribution module on the negative side. So that will clean up every bit of that. Then these three wires right here, these wires right here, these three wires right here, these two, I'm gonna get a big brass or big copper crimp, and I'm gonna crimp these two together to one. And then these three right here, 1, 2, 3, I'm gonna take these three out and put in the power distribution module. And then I'm gonna get rid of this, and then I'm just gonna get a regular battery in with one cable. Just one cable, get one at the parts store. And then what I'll do on the other end is I'll take and go from one big one to two little ones, these two. And that will clean up the battery terminal, and I'm gonna do the exact same thing on the negative side. What's up, Bat? What's up, Sting? What did he say? Put a separate fuse box under the AC for the glove box. Well, that's what I'm doing. I'm putting a power distribution module right here, because these are the wires. All these are the wires for the AC system. Look how much they give you. So, I mean, either you got to run a power wire from here to there or from there to there. So we're just going to use what's already here. But we're going to clean up all this. But right now we're going to wire up this, right here. Right here we're going to wire up this Trinary. Well, this is the battery he bought. So this is a brand new battery, 24 DL gold. This is a brand new battery. So we got to use what we got to use. So if it was mine, I'd put an excess power battery. I'm an excess power battery guy. I like yeah, I want to clean all that up. So let's talk about this. So when you put your crimp on, you crimp it and then you give it a little tug, right? Now let me tell you something about this daggone. Let me tell you something about heat shrink. They get you on these heat shrinks. They get you on these heat shrinks. They'll say 1,000 heat shrinks, and there'll only be a few in the box that you can actually use. The rest of them look like little pinwheels. What in the hell are y'all using these little bitty ass things for? What in the hell Or y'all using these 6-90s? What are y'all using these for? Because I definitely don't know. I ain't got a damn clue, Batman. I mean, them sun guns right there, little bitty ass things. Let's go over here and see if I got some blue shrink wrap. I think I used it all the other day. What's up, Gary? What's up, everybody? If I miss somebody, man, yeah. So when you get these trays right here, they slam full of shrink wrap, but half of that shit you can't even use. No. All right, we'll just use this right here. It's 12 o'clock here. We got to get to going because about 1 o'clock I'm gonna start painting. Easy now. Easy now. So we're gonna take, so on this trinary switch, it has two black and green. It has a black with a green tracer, a black with a green tracer, and then two blue wires, right? So one of the black and green tracer goes to the compressor. So you got this blue wire that's coming from the compressor is going to go to one of the black or the black and green tracer. When I say black and green tracer, this is what I mean. This is what I'm talking about. The wire is black, but it has a green stripe, a tracer, right? So this blue wire is going to go to one of these green wires, and then we're going to shrink wrap it. So that's what we're doing. So we are wiring up a trinary pressure switch for this vintage air system because he has electric fans. If you had mechanical fans, you would use a binary switch. And this is what a binary switch is, right? So, I'm gonna put that bad boy on there like that. I always put pressure on the wire and then I crimp it, right? Now, Mike told me a little, and I didn't even do it. Damn it, Mike, I am so sorry. I don't know how Mike gets them out, but Mike says he takes that silver out and gets rid of that and just shrink wrap it. I don't know how in the hell, you get that out of there, Mike. So you're gonna have to send me a video on that. So, all right, so once we got it crimped and secured, I'll show you. If you're new to the channel, if I lived closer, I would sneak in your garage and do it so you don't have to watch you struggle. Struggle? I'm not struggling. You think I'm struggling? One side of parapet needle nose and take out. Message redact. You think I'm struggling? You think I'm struggling? It's all right, man. It's fine. Y'all all right? Appreciate that, Mac. All right, so we got that one. So the other black and green one, if y'all wonder what I'm looking at this little drawing right here. The other black and green one goes to the blue wire, this one right here. So this long blue wire that comes out of the engine compartment, it goes it goes in the, it hooks to the other one. So, with that being said, we're gonna have to snake this son of a gun up through here. We're gonna run it with the rest of them. We're gonna give ourselves enough, because we're gonna hide it up there behind. That's probably good right there. So we're gonna take this one. Like I said, hold on a second. Filling 134 and measuring the oil should be interesting. Why is that? Why is that should be interesting? Why is that? Why is that? Why are you saying that? So we're hooking up the other side of the, this wire here goes to the switch inside the vehicle. The sight glass on the dryer. Oh yeah, because it's backwards. Are you referring to because it's backwards? Where did you lead all this? Well, you know the question, I asked that same question, right? I asked that absolutely same question, right? So that's good that you noticed that. So let me show you something. So right here, look here. See this right here? On page 8, you see where the dryer's at? It says the 6th hole and the 4th hole, right? And the dryer clamps, and then you put the screws, right? And right here on page 9, it says the O-rings and all that, right? And then when you flip it over here to the other side, look here. You flip it right here on page 11, the binary switch or trinary switch goes on the front, and that's where it goes because these lines were pre-bent and you have no you have right here. So yeah, the sight glass is on the back side of that, but that's the way it goes together. So it's a kit from Vintage Air, and right here you can see that the binary or trinary switch is on the front and the sight glass is on the back. So yeah. Oh yeah, so yeah, Mac. Yeah, we got to, so right here is where you feel it at, but this fitting here is wrong. And then the other one is, it's actually, the other one is here and then the other one's down there. So yeah, it's right there. GM put them on the fender. GM put what on the fender? What are you talking about? GM put what on? What's up, Buchanan? The fan shroud should be, the fans, GM put them on the fender. Fan shroud might be in the way. There is no fan shroud. There is no fan shroud. There is no fan shroud. Well, I understand where GM put them. I understand what you're saying, and I totally get it. But I called Vintage Air and I asked them, right? But I called Vintage Air and I said, hey, you're supposed to be able to see this sight glass. And they was like, yeah, but that's the way the kit's designed, and that's the way you need to put it in. Okay, fine. Same thing on the C10 truck. Now see, look, the C10 truck's different. The sight glass on this one's at the top. See that? The C10 truck, it comes around. This is a Gen 4 on this truck. See, the sight glass is on the top. All right? It's not on the back side. It's on the front. It's on the top. Same thing with this one. You know what? But it is what it is. So we're just going to keep plugging right along. So this other blue wire right here is the one that comes from the switch. No. Can't swap clients' parts from one client to the next part. You can't do that. So we hook this other one up to the other black and green wire. And then we crimp this one. Once we get that one crimped, we'll slide the shrink wrap over that. Take our handy dandy little Power Pro micro torch. Turn it down just a little bit. Got that all handy dandy. All right, so the other two wires. So we have another blue wire, which is actually the other blue wire for the switch. Is the ground. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull one of these blue wires out of that sheath, and we're going to no, we ain't gonna do that neither. So the other blue wire see you, Mac. See you, John. So on this one right here, we're gonna get a grommet. We're gonna get an eyelet, and we're going to ground we're gonna ground. Excuse me. We're gonna ground. We're gonna ground this other one. So these already have, appreciate it. These right here already have the heat shrink. Now these are good. Now these right here, appreciate it, Elko. These right here, these are good. These are good right here. These are good. The other ones, they not so good. So we're gonna put this on here and did y'all slide out of the chair? Y'all hang tight. So we're gonna take this one and we're gonna ground this one to the core support. And the core, all right, let me tell you something on these right here. We are wiring up a trinary switch perch. The difference between a trinary and a binary switch on an AC system. So on these little crimps right here, you got a split, right? You got a split on one side and you got solid on the other side. You see your crimps? You got a valley. Y'all see that? You got a valley and then you got a pin. So when you're crimping these things, you want to make sure you put the split in the valley and put the pin on the solid. If you take the pin and put it in the split, when you go to crimp it, what you're gonna do is that thing's gonna do like this right here. When you go, say this is a split, and you put that pin in there, what it's gonna do, it's gonna do that right there. Because that pin is gonna push down in between that split, and it's gonna push it like that right there, and it's only gonna crimp the wire on the left side and the right side. And it's not gonna be secured in the middle, and that wire will pull out. So what you wanna do is you want to make sure you put the barrel, the flat barrel on the split and the pin on the solid. So now, think of it like this. You got the cup, the solid right there, and you go to crimp it, it goes flat. You see what I'm saying? It goes down. A lot of people do that wrong, and then their connections are wrong, and they fail. So, or you can just do it whatever you want. You do whatever how you want to. All right, then once you get so that right there is crimped, and then you give it a little secure, and then now we'll just heat that up. And that's good and sealed all the way around. Now, if you want to go a little extra step, you can put a little dielectric grease in there if you want to. So what we're going to do is we're going to ground this. All this is bolted to the core support. So we're going to check this and make sure, because in the instructions, it says you want this wire to be as short as possible for a ground. So we're going to ground it right there. And we're going to make sure, or, we'll put it right there. We'll ground it right there. We'll clean this paint off, and then we'll ground it right there to make sure. We'll make sure that that's a good ground. Y'all know my power probe took a dump, and they're going to replace it because I am now officially sponsored by Power Probe and all of their accessories. So thanks to that. So, because they said they enjoy watching what I do, and I do a good job. So that's very rewarding. So we're gonna put that right there, but we're gonna double check, make sure that's a good ground, all the way through everything after we clean that up. So that ground's gonna go there. So this other blue wire right here, that other blue wire, it goes to the other blue. I got a little sheet right here from Vintage Air. What's up, cars? The other blue wire from that goes to the fan relay on the white wire, right? So the fan relay white wire is right here in this power distribution module. See right here? So this is a MSD 2-channel relay, right? So this is the relay system for the fans. So it says it goes to the white wire. So this white wire right here is the trigger for the fans. So we'll put that wire right there. So that right there is a power, this is a 2-channel, and they make a 4-channel. So this right here is really, really nice. So that's really, really nice. So we got that. We got that done. So we're gonna take and we're gonna extend this wire all the way up, and we'll run it up underneath here. We'll come out and we'll come down, and then we'll grab that. So that's the last two. These wires right here, cannot wire these up. These wires right here, the orange one is a hot wire, the white is a ground, the red is a hot, and the white's a ground. These right here, we're gonna have to hold off until that little power distribution module gets here. And when that power distribution module gets here, we're probably gonna mount that joker right here. It's probably where we're gonna mount it. We're gonna put it right up here on the fender. I hate to drill any holes in these because these are brand new fenders, but we got 2 holes that was already there from the factory. So we might do that, or I might even go as far, I don't know. I really don't want to drill nothing in there. I really don't want to drill no holes in that. I could, but that's where we're at close wise with all the Holly system. So we're probably just going to put it right here, and then this, unfortunately, we'll see when it gets here how big it is to put it right there. Yeah, either one way, half a dozen other. I might have to drill a hole in this or drill a hole in that, or make a bracket. Something's going to have to get a hole drilled in it. So we're just going to have to figure out what we're going to do. And then we're going to have to make a bracket to hold this right here. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But you want to be able to get to it, no. So everything's not, yeah, Craig, I agree with you. Everything's nice to hide and tuck it up and that, but you got to remember, you got to, this is what people don't understand, and they don't think about it. It's like playing chess, not checkers, you know. And a lot of people say, oh, I know how to play chess. Okay, fine. When you're working on something and you're building something, and even if you're doing your personal stuff, you have to come to conclusion to say, at one point in my life, I'm going to have to come back and work on this thing again. And you have to make it reasonable for you to work on it. So you have to think about 15 steps ahead. Like, if something happens, how am I going to get from point A to point Q? Not point B, point Q. Or L, O, M, X, whatever. You got to get to work on that juke joint, right? And I agree with you. I agree with you, Craig. So until that module gets here, I don't know how big it is. I don't know. I mean, I could take it and put it, but you don't want to. I mean, right now to change the damn headlights out, you got to pull the damn battery out, and that's factory. I mean, to get down in here to the damn headlight over here comfortably, you have to take the whole damn battery out to get over here to the headlight to fix the damn headlight. So if that power distribution, I can look up the size of it on the thing. I'm gonna post it in my community post. I'll put that power distribution module right here, and then everything will be accessible, where you can see the fuses. Mike says it even's got LED lights in it that comes on, like over here on this one or here. This one has LED lights on it, and this runs the fans. This is the fan part. So you got channel 1 and channel 2. These are two 40-amp relays. You could actually pull this bus bar out, and it'd be an 80-amp relay. So this runs fan 1, this runs fans 2, and then this is the hots on the side, and this is triggered. These wires are triggered by the Sniper 2 system that turns the fans on. So that is a really, really nice, and I put it right there because it's a good spot right there. Oh, you got to do the same thing on that 2015 Silverado. You got to take the whole front bumper fascia off just to get, and you got to take the bumper fascia off, the damn grill off, just to get to the damn headlights. Just to change the damn bulb on it, or change the headlight. So that's where we're at on that, boys and girls. So whenever that module gets here, I probably, unfortunately, I'm probably going to have to, what I could do is I could probably drill a hole and put a J-nut. And a lot of people probably, or a U-nut, or whatever. They are called, they're called a J-nut. I'll show you what I'm talking about. What's up, Nathan? Something like that right there, but not that big, of course. Get a small one. They make smaller ones, like really small ones. They make smaller ones. I could take and I could drill a hole to get one of these in there and then slide it in, and then all you gotta do is just run a screw through there, and then you don't have to get underneath the inner fender for a bolt or a nut, a fastener. So that's that. So that's where we're at, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. So once that stuff gets here, I can clean this up, and then we can clean this up, and then I can just put this in my little go-to bag for something else. And then we'll go from there. So, but what I'll probably will do is I'll probably skin these back just a little bit and just hook the wires to them just to see if I can get power to them, but probably not. I probably won't do none of that, honestly. I probably told y'all a fib. But I am going to pull the carpet out. But, so, got all this done. Got to do a little bit of housekeeping. Like I said, at 1 o'clock, between 1 and 3 o'clock today, it's supposed to be 70 to 72 degrees. It's 12:20 now. I've been watching Peaky Blinders. It's between 1 and 3 o'clock, it's supposed to be 70 degrees. So what I'm going to do now is probably going to eat me a bowl of oatmeal, drink me some more water, get everything cleaned up, and then I'm going to go down there and look at my paint stuff, and I'm probably going to go in and put the paint on a plate warmer, or on my warmer, to warm it up, to get it up to temp. Hell, I should have done that this morning. But if I go do that now, when I'm talking about a warmer, is this right here. This is what I'm talking about. I have this right here. This body filler and clear coat warmer. Take this thing right here and go ahead and plug it up and go ahead and set the paint on here and the hardener. It's going to be singles. Go ahead and set that on there and let it get up to temp. What's up, Lee? Let it get up to temp, and then get the deck lid and the hood in the booth, and just not going to do no body work to it. The bottom side of it, just shoot it in some 2K epoxy, let it flash off about 30 minutes, maybe 30 minutes to an hour. I really don't want to turn the heat on, but I can turn the heat on real quick just to knock the moisture and the chill out of the air. And then put a couple coats of red chili pepper red on it, and then just let it set with the fans on and let it cure out. And then the next sunny day, roll it outside and let it bake in the sun, and then the bottom of the hood and the deck lid will be painted. Now, I'm going to paint it red chili pepper red because that's close to this red, and then later on when he paints the car or whatever he wants to do, we'll go from there. So, no, little more reducer for the cold. All right, so I'm going to play with that. So let's play. So why do you say a little bit more reducer because it's cold? Why did you say that? Explain that to me why you said that. So we'll play. I'll entertain that. So why? So message redacted. So why did you say a little more reducer for the cold? We got like 4 minutes. So it doesn't take 3 days to harden. Explain to me, okay, tell me what reducer does. Everybody, we waiting on message redacted. We waiting on him to tell us. He's saying, okay, hold on 1 second. So, do y'all have all your comments turned on? Do y'all have all your messages turned on? Okay, he says, yeah, I know everything's calculated at 70 degrees. I know everything is done in a controlled environment based on 70 degrees. I'm kind of concerned of that nobody can't see your comment but me. So yeah, paint products are set up they're set up in a controlled environment at 70 degrees. That is correct. Right? So, yeah. Okay, all right. So, yes, paint products are set up at 70 degrees. That's right. Reducer leaves the window open. I think all right, I'm going to explain something, and don't take it the wrong way, but I'm going to explain to you what reducer does. Reducer, what you just said was, let's go back. You said, add more reducer for the cold so it doesn't take 3 days to harden. That's not what reducer does. Reducer keeps it open longer so it can melt out. So let's give a little chemical lesson here. Okay? Reducer, you have a 15-degree window meant right. Yeah, reducer keeps it open longer. So if it keeps it open longer, it's not going to harden faster. It's not going to dry faster. There's difference between dry and cure. Okay, there's a difference between drying and cure. That's two different concepts. Dry means I can touch it and don't imprint it. Cured means it's completely linked up the chemicals, the physiological, the physics of the chemicals are locked up. You have all the binders and all the hardeners and the chemicals, they have meshed together and they have cured. There is a difference. If you do not know the difference between drying and curing, that you need to know that first. Right? Second is reducer keeps the product open longer. So if it's 70 degrees and you use 70-degree reducer and you use 70-degree hardener, it is set up for 70 degrees. Adding more reducer is not going to speed that process up. It's not going to do anything except water it down and make it thinner, because reducer is a reduction, which is reduction of what you have. So if you make 2 ounces of paint and 2 ounces of hardener and you put 1 ounce of reducer in it, you have 5 ounces sprayable. If you add 30 more percent, or if you add another half a reducer in, you've took 5 ounces of sprayable product and you've turned it into 5.5 ounces of spraying product. You have thinned it out. So you have watered it down. You've not sped up the process of it drying or it slowing down. You've just thinned it out. You made it more translucent than what you're trying to achieve. Now, if it was 80 degrees outside, now here's where the 15-degree rule comes in here, okay? All right? No two painters ever agree. I'm not disagreeing with you. It's physics. It ain't got nothing to do with what one painter does and what another painter does. It is physics. 2 + 2 is 4 all day long. I don't care how you twist it, how you flip it up. Physics. It's physics. If you throw a rock up in the air and you stand underneath it, that bitch is going to hit you on top of the head. I don't care how hard you throw it, how fast you throw it, how slow you throw it. 2 pounds of feathers and 2 pounds of rock are going to hit the ground at the exact same time. If I throw a pillowcase with 2 pounds of feathers and a bucket and a pillowcase with 2 pounds of rocks and hold them over the edge of the building and I drop them, they're both going to hit the ground. They're both 2 pounds. They're going to both fall at the same rate of speed to the ground because they're 2 pounds. It doesn't matter that one's a bag of feathers and one's a bag of rocks. Okay? So, the 15-degree rule with paint, let me explain to you the 15-degree rule. Now, here is where you kind of right what you're saying. If it was 80 degrees outside, if the ambient temperature outside was 80 degrees, and my panel, see, that's something else. It might be 80 degrees outside, but the panel might be 65 degrees. So you're spraying in 80-degree ambient air, and the panel is 65 degrees. That's not going to work, because a lot of isocyanate and chemicals stop working under 65 degrees, or some of them 68. There's some crazy damn hybrid products out there that you can spray them at 58 degrees. I would never spray that shit ever, because it just doesn't work. So here's where the 15-degree rule, I'll catch up on the comments in a second. I don't want to get sidetracked. Everybody needs to hear this. The 15-degree rule is probably where you're thinking at, right? So if it's 80 degrees outside, 80 degrees, right? And I'm spraying 70-degree material, like my hardener is 70 degrees and my reducer is 70 degrees. And I'm spraying it and it is 80 degrees outside. My flash times, let's just say my flash times are 10 minutes in between coats. That doesn't mean when I stop spraying. That means when I start spraying. Now, everybody sprays different. Some people spray heavy, some people spray light. It doesn't matter to a certain extent. If I start spraying a fender, my flash time starts right there immediately. Now, if I put it on there, if I hammer the shit out of it and I put a lot of product on there, yes, it's going to take longer time to flash because I've pounded the material on that panel and you got to let it gas off. But here's the problem. If you pound that shit on and it's 80 degrees outside and you got 80-degree ambient temperature and your panel is 80 degrees and you're spraying 70-degree product, 70-degree hardener, 70-degree reducer, the problem you're going to have is you're going to have a lot of issues. And here's the issues you're going to have. Once you start spraying it, it's going to immediately start drying, right? If you don't spray it wet enough, you're going to have dry spray, right? That means that the product is going to dry before it hits the panel to begin to mellow out, right? Now, if you get it on there and you spray it and everything is great, then that's where it will dry faster because the ambient temperature is hotter and your product is slower, 15-degree rule. So my flash times at 15-degree rule, if the spray sheet says, if the P sheet says that it's 10 minutes in between flash times and you're using 80 degrees outside and you're using 70-degree product, then your flash times is cut in half, 15 degrees. So you don't have 10-minute flash times. You have 5-minute flash times. Now, it does depend on how heavy you spray it and how light you spray it. If you go in there and put 15 light coats, yes, it's going to dry faster because you don't have as much film build. Now, that will speed up the process of drying. Now, also, let's say it's 90 degrees outside and you're using 70-degree reducer. You're not going to get that shit on the panel fast enough. You ain't going to do it. You're going to have to be like this close to the panel and you're going to have to be like this to get it on there. Now your flash time is cut in half again. Now you have 2.5 minutes of flash time to get the product on there. Now, let's reverse it around. Let's say it's 70 degrees outside and I'm using 80-degree material. My flash times are going to increase by half. So instead of 10-minute flash time, I'm going to have 15-minute flash times. Let's just say that I'm using 90-degree product and it's 70 degrees outside. Instead of having 10 minutes flash times, I'm going to have 25 to 30-minute flash times. That's how I stack clear. That's how I stack clear. That's how Freddie Carson stacks clear. That's how Shorty stacks clear. That's how Ryan Evans stacks clear. Flash times. You have to know the product that you're spraying. Do not mix product. Don't buy a Tampco primer. Don't buy damn Sharon Williams paint. Then buy a damn DuPont clear and put that all shit together. You're looking for a damn mess because you have actually put 3 different products on the same panel and everybody don't have the same chemical makeup. And reducers are not the same. You have virgin reducers that have higher quality. Then you have mid-grade reducers. And then you got barrel bucket reducers. Like Grow Reducer, that shit is owned by PPG and it's the bottom of the damn barrel. There are some paints that you cannot put cheap reducers in because it won't melt. It won't do what it needs to do. Now, let's go back to what you were saying, speed up the process. Now, they do have products that you can put into products to speed up the acceleration. They have that stuff. They have fisheye eliminator. They have all this other stuff. I have never, ever, ever, ever in 30 years of spraying and 30 years of education and 30 years of all the shit and 30 years of all the training, I have never used that shit. Never. That right there is a crutch for people that don't understand the physical makeup of the product that they're spraying. It's like, well, let me put this in here and speed it up. There is still people to this day that will spray clear, set the clear in the refrigerator and go to lunch and come back 2 hours later to go spray another coat. You can't do that. That shit will delaminate. That shit will die. It will peel off. You will have a cluster of shit because the isocyanates and the chemical makeup of that product dies below 60 degrees. It doesn't matter if you put it on a hot plate and warm it up. It's not going to go. And then somebody says, I don't know who said it, put more hardener in it. You can't do that neither. A lot of people do it with body filler. Bondo is a brand filler. People's like, well, it's colder outside, let's put more hardener in it. It's hotter outside, let's put less hardener in it. You can't do that neither. That shit was designed in a lab for this many girls, this many boys. If you got, like Charlie Hutton told me, his biggest pet peeve when I went to one of his training classes, there was people all over the world that was in this class. I'll catch up on the comments in a second. There was people all over the world in this class. Builders, top-end builders, everything. I was a part of it. There was 15 people in this class, and it was a pain in the ass. And I literally got put in this class by the VP of PPG. Actually put me in this class, right? The first thing that Charlie Hutton asked on day one, he said, how many in here know how to mix body filler? And everybody just looked at everybody. And he's like, it's not a trick question. How do you mix body filler? And there's people, young people, mid-aged people, older people in this class. People from all over the world, Australia, Italy, there was people all over. And everybody's like, he said, all right, somebody explain to me how you mix body filler. This guy said, okay, you take your body filler, you put it on a pad, you see what it is, you take the hardener and you just put a ribbon around it, you mix it up and you spread it. He said, all right, what if it's cold outside? Oh, you just add more hardener. Well, what if it's hot outside? You add less hardener. He said, anybody else want to tell me? He went around the whole room, and after about the 5th person saying the same thing, he said, and this was a custom restoration class. Custom restoration class. I'll catch up on the comments here in a second. A custom restoration class. The best of the best. And that's worked for years now. I'm not taking it. I was guilty of it too. I'm right there. I'm listening. I'm not talking. Imagine that. I'm not talking. I'm listening. He says it's brought to my attention that nobody in here knows how to read. Nobody in here knows how to mix body filler. He said one of my biggest pet peeves going to shops and walking in the shops, looking at cars with body filler on them, Bondo or 3M or whatever, they're all different colors. Because nobody knows how to mix body filler. All right? Nobody knows how to mix body filler. He said that is my biggest pet peeve. If you don't know how to mix body filler, you shouldn't be doing body work. Now, we're not talking about collision. We're not talking about insurance work. We're not talking about pay here, buy here car lots. We're not talking about that. We're talking about restoration custom. That's what I'm talking about. So don't get it twisted. Don't get your panties in a knot. Don't get all upset or whatever. Well, I've been doing it for 50 years. Okay, fine. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. I'm talking about restoration. He says, first of all, you have to understand the physical compound and the physics of body filler. Your clear, your body filler, your hardener, your 2K primer, all that stuff. You have to understand how that stuff works. He said, I don't care if you spray BSF. I don't care if you spray Sherwin-Williams. I don't care if you spray Nasons. I don't care if you spray whatever you spray, PPG, House of Colors, whatever. You have to understand how that product is worked. They make pea sheets. They make pea sheets for a reason. They spent millions of dollars telling you how stuff works. And then I see it all the time on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, whatever. People's like, hey man, my stuff don't work, whatever. How do you mix this? Well, it's on the pea sheet. I got hundreds of messages all the time from people say, hey man, I done this and this and that. My first thing is, how did you mix your product? Well, I done this. The guy at the parts store, I could do this. And I was like, well, that's not what the pea sheet says. Yeah, but the guy at the parts store said I could do it this way. Or I talked to a guy on YouTube or Facebook or TikTok or Instagram, and he says, just do this and it'll work. I said, did it work? No, it didn't work. I said, well, then why did you listen to him? They put this stuff on paper, not because they want to waste money, not because they want to waste your time. It's because they're in the business of making money, and they want their product to work, so you come back. And you have to educate yourself on that product. I've been fortunate enough to spray all of it. Petty sprayed BSF. When I worked at Sandhills, they sprayed Sherwin-Williams. And then they converted over to PPG. When I was at Randolph, they sprayed PPG. And then they converted over to water, Aquabase. I've been fortunate enough to be educated in this stuff. So Charlie Hutton says, on the back, let me go get a can of body filler and I'm going to show you. On the back of the can, it says you're supposed to weigh out your filler. 2% to the weight of the filler. And people are going to say, well, it also says you can do a quarter rivet. Yeah, you can do that, but nobody's that consistent. Humans make errors. So when you start mixing your body filler on a scale and weighing it out, it will sand better, it will cure better, and it will do better. You'll have less pinholes, you'll have less junk, it'll be more uniformed. So back to message redacting, when he's talking about add reducer to speed up the drying process, that's not entirely true. That's not entirely true. That's not entirely true. So reducer is a reduction of what you have, and it thins it down. So when I stack clear, I use high reducer, like 95 reducer. PPG makes a 95 reducer. I do not use 98 because I don't use 98 because 98 degree reducer has a retarder in it, a delayer. So if you're spraying heavy pearls, candies, metal flake, metallics, any of that stuff, and you're spraying that stuff, dry pearls, wet pearls, metal flake, any of that stuff, that 98 reducer has retarder in it. And what it will do, it will keep it open longer. It will keep it open longer. And what will happen, that stuff is sitting there, and what will happen is that stuff will end up puddling, and it will make splotches. It will make tiger stripes. It'll make tiger stripes. It'll make imperfections. It'll look like you have little spots in it. It'll look like it had chicken pox. It'll just, the pearls and the flop, especially the flop agent. There is a lot of flop agent in the new colors. I mean, some of these colors are five-stage products on factory cars, right? And that flop agent with that high reducer, if you use 98 reducer in PPG, now I know other Mac might chime in on BSF. They probably got one too that's got retarder in it or whatever, retardant agent. And I know in PPG, if you use 98 reducer, it will puddle candies and pearls, and it will look like that sun gun's got the daggone chicken pox and the measles. So I don't use 98 reducer. And if it's over 90 degrees, I don't paint anyway. I'm not a production painter. I can production paint, but I'm not a production painter. So my ideal temperature is anywhere between 70 and 80 degrees. That is my perfect time to spray. Now, if I'm stacking clear, it will take me all day to put 7, 8 coats of clear on one vehicle. That GTO that I post in my community post, that right there was 921, CRE 921 2K epoxy. Put everything in epoxy. After it was done, it was water sanded. Yeah, I water sand epoxy. Then I put 2 medium wet coats of 30-35 dark sealer, right? Then that was water sanded, all right? That was water sanded. Then it was put in the booth, washed really, really good, dried off, really dried off, taped up. I water sanded the sealer with 600. 600 is for solvent base. 800 is for water base, aqua base, for PPG, okay, PPG. The sealer was sanded at 600, water sand the whole car. Went in there and put 3 coats of pure black. When somebody says my vehicle is black, and I was like, give me the paint code. Right? Give me the code for the paint. And they pull up the code, and I was like, man, this thing's got blues, greens, all. It's not pure black. That GTO was pure, straight black toner. Straight black. Pure black. 3 coats of black. So this is what I done. Put 3 coats of black on it and walked out. Let it set for 24 hours. Came back, checked everything, nibbed anything that needed to be nibbed, got everything's good, right? Then put Vibrance 5700 clear on that bad boy. Sprayed it with the Luma 1.5 OP spray gun, Luma, at 32 PSI at full pull. When I say full pull, when I say 35 PSI at full pull, what I'm talking about is wide open throttle at full pull. Not 35 on the wall, full pull. So you set your gun up, and then when you pull it, the pressure drops. I keep adding pressure until it maintains anywhere between 32 PSI and 35 PSI at full pull. At full tilt, full pull. Right? Went in there and I put 7 coats of clear in one session on that GTO. Right at the gate. Each time I put clear, I increased my flash times and I increased my reducer. When I mean reducer, I mean I changed the reducer, right? So it was 75 degrees when I sprayed it. I used 95 reducer. I went in there and put 1 good medium wet coat on there. You let that bad boy flash off for about 45 minutes. You go in there to an hour. You do your finger test to see if it's stringy, see if it's whatever. If it's good, I go in there and put another coat on there. And then I give it some more time. And then I go in there and I do another one. 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 I stacked 7 coats of clear on that car in one session. One session. Vibrance 5700 clear. That's what I put on that car. When the car was done, I don't bake nothing. I don't believe in baking. I don't believe speeding up the process, because when you bake, think about baking an apple pie, right? You make a pie, right? You make a pie. You got your dough, you got your filler, and you got your crust, right? You put it in the oven, and it says bake it at 350 degrees for 45 minutes. You let it bake, you pull it out, the crust is nice and flaky. You take your toothpick, you stick in there, everything's nice, the dough's not raw, your filling's all nice and gooey. Oh, it's nice, it's super nice. Give me a cup of ice cream and let's go to town. Let's say you're impatient and you don't want to wait that long. So it's supposed to be 45 minutes at 350 degrees. You put it in there and you run it up to 450 and you want to cook it for 15 minutes. Everything on the outside is going to be done, crusty brown, flaking off, probably burnt, but everything inside is still going to be uncooked and undone. That's what happens when people bake stuff. Now, I'm not talking about speed clears. I'm not talking about baking clears. I'm not talking about none of that. I'm talking about showroom glamour clear. That's what I'm talking about. Speed clear and bake clear, that's a whole nother subject. That's a whole nother subject. That's why we don't bake nothing. That's why I don't bake nothing. That's why everything I worked at Petty's, we don't bake nothing, right? So you speed up the process, right? So after that thing was running, it was nice. The big fans was running. I let them things run for like 5 hours, pulling all the fumes out, right? Then I dropped down to 1 fan, and I let that thing run for like 5 more hours. So 10 hours, the fans have constantly been pulling solvents out of the booth, just constantly. Then once everything's all said and done, you open the doors to the booth, you open everything up, and I put some Walmart box fans down to keep the air circulating. A lot of people, another problem that they have is they have dieback, solvent, they say solvent pop. Well, I got solvent pop. Well, solvent pop is completely different, where you got on it too fast or got on it too soon and everything dried on the bottom, and then you covered it up and solvent tried to go down. It can't go through the metal, so it comes back up and then poof, you got little solvent pops and pinholes. You have to wet sand every bit of that shit out to get you. You could pour 1,500 gallons of clear on it and it still ain't gonna go away in that little bitty hole. Now, there is some tricks. If you got a couple pinholes, you can take a small little file bit, and you go in there and you can just cut the top of it. Then you get you a toothpick and you can mix you up some clear, and you can just dip the clear in that hole and you can let it dry over and you wet sand it and polish it. But that right there is for like collision work, lock lizard work, buy here, pay here, mobile. That's that shit. I don't do that shit, all right? Dieback is where you don't leave your fans on long enough in the booth, and you don't have adequate airflow to get the solvents out, because when you smell paint, that's the solvents coming out. That's gassing off. So the solvents come out of the panel and they get into the atmosphere in the booth, and it's like the rainforest effect. You get all these gases in the air and they get so heavy, and what do? They fall right back down on the panel. So now you got solvents trying to come out, and now you got solvents falling down, and then it lays on top of it. And then once it lays on top of it, it can't get out, and then it just turns milk. It just diebacks. You're like, bam, man, when I painted that shit yesterday, man, you could see my nose hairs in that bitch. Now I can't even see my eyeball. That's dieback. And moisture. Moisture is another thing. Moisture and isocyanate, they love each other. They pull to everybody. If you don't believe it, leave the damn lid off of your damn thinner. And it's humid in the summertime, and you go to pour that shit out, it'll look like somebody poured, it's like, what is that? It's water, it's moisture. Another thing with moisture, I'm gonna finish this up on the moisture thing. A lot of people has called me and is like, hey man, I painted this, man, and everything's milky. I don't know what it is. And I'm like, well, what's your airflow? Well, I got some fans on, and then I got done and I shut everything up, and I went home, and then I come back and it looks like this. Well, if it's like 80% humidity, like in the summertime here in the South, where you got a case of the swamp ass, and you sweating just sitting still, and you got this moisture in there, I ain't painting. Try to paint like 2 o'clock in the morning or first thing in the morning when the bugs is dead and they not out and it's whatever. You try to paint it all over with high humidity, that moisture is going to get sucked in there, and that shit's going to go together, and it's never going to dry. You can put that shit outside on the runway in the sun for 2-3 weeks, and eventually it will dry. And then it's going to be just milky as hell, and you ain't going to be able to do nothing with it. I had one problem with some CRE 321. I've been spraying CRE 321 2K epoxy, the commercial, before it was even available to the public. That's how long I've been spraying CRE 321. It is a damn good 2K epoxy. They make CRE 321, which is gray, CRE 321, 921, which is black, and then they make CRE X 21, which is white. You can mix them together to get you G codes. G codes is a whole different color, whole different thing. That stuff builds like nobody's business. I have sold more CRE 321 than PPG. I gave more technical help on CRE than PPG. Facts. Go Google CRE 321 JG Innovation. Go Google it. You will see countless and countless of Facebook posts and YouTube posts of CRE 321. Everybody says, man, I can't spray that shit, man. I can't spray it slick. I can spray CRE 321, mix 2-to-1 to half reducer. I can spray it with a 2.0 tip, and I can spray it like glass. Try me. We can do it all day, every day, and twice on Tuesday. But there was one time that I sprayed CRE on a hood and 2 fenders, and it did not dry on the hood. It dried on the lower part of the fenders, and it did not dry on the top of the fenders. Never happened to me before, ever. Ever. It was gummy. You put your finger in it, it would nail, it would just imprint, would not dry, it was not dry. But on the side of the fenders was dry. You could block it with 120 and it'd dust out. You try to block it on the top of the fenders or on top of the hood, it'd be stuck like Velcro. Would not, and I'm like, I don't know. I didn't mix it wrong. I didn't put the wrong, I don't use acetone. It calls in the P sheet to use acetone, but you can use it used to be DT 895, but they changed it to Nexton or something. PPG revamped their labeling and went up on their prices, but it used to be DT reducer. Shop line reducer don't work good with CRE. Any cheap reducer don't work. If you're going to use acetone, you can do like small pieces like like a motorcycle gas tank or something, acetone dries way too fast. And CRE 321 was designed for an industrial size, like bulldozers, stuff like that, bridge decks. It has a super, super high build impact. It's like 16, 17 mils per coat at a 1.8 tip. And a mil thickness is the thickness of a cigarette pack. So if you know anybody that smokes, take the cigarette pack off of their cigarettes. That piece of cellophane plastic, that is 1 mil thick. CRE goes on like 14, 15 mils wet. And I think once it dries and it's cured, it's like 8 or 9 or 10 mils, right? So the reason why that CRE did not dry on the top and on the tops of the fenders and the top of the hood, moisture. I keep notebooks. I've been preaching this for years. Google JG Innovation Garage and notebooks on YouTube. Keep a notebook. Keep a notebook or a pad or something. When you go into the booth or whatever you're doing, write down how you was feeling, what the temperature was, what the humidity was, what you eat that day, what you're listening to, what gun you're using. Write it all down. Write it all down because nobody can remember everything. That's why we take notes. So I talked to my PPG rep, which he was a super good dude. He's retired now. And I told him what was going on. And he's like, he had one other shop that was in the western part of North Carolina. He's like, when did you spray it? And I said, I sprayed it on this date. And he's like, it was humidity as balls that day. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, dude, it was like 100% humidity. I was like, yeah. It was like in the hottest part of the day, I was like, it was humid, just terrible, right? Terrible. So we came to the conclusion that it was moisture. What happened was on the side of the panel, you had airflow. And I had airflow on the top. But there was so much humidity in the air that day, so much humidity, that the moisture attacked the isocyanates and killed them. And it would not dry. I even put the fenders outside in the sun. It was 100 degrees in the sunshine for 2 weeks. And they did not dry. They would not dry. I had to take a flat putty knife and scrape every bit of that shit off like a melted damn Tootsie Roll. And got every bit of it off all the way down to the bottom. All the way to the bottom. And then I sanded it with 80 grit, killed a bunch of 80 grit, got it back down, sprayed it again, and it was fine. That's the only time that I've ever had any issues with CRE 321. That's the only time. Let me go back through here and check. Outcast Motorsports, you remind me of an instructor I had in college, the way he explained things. I appreciate it, man. Tap in. What's up, Drew? Outcast said, just curious, what product do you like the best? House of Colors more forgiving. House of Colors is not House of Colors no more. When the old man stepped out and sold it to his family, they completely changed everything. So House of Colors today is not the same House of Colors. Yeah, fisheye reducer, that stuff's garbage. Yeah, I mix paint. I was painting. To answer the question, what's up, Lee? Getting ready to work, loving and respecting this lesson. Hey, I appreciate it too. So I really don't have a favorite paint. Now, I mean, every paint has its pros and cons, right? Everything has got just ridiculous expensive, just just crazy expensive. I mean, it's higher than damn a draft's ice. You know what I'm saying? But 2021, I could tell y'all some stuff, but I probably shouldn't tell it. If you want to talk about it in private, we can talk about it in private. But I can tell you stuff about products that we're just gonna leave it at there. 2021 clear, probably some of the best clear I've ever sprayed. It's a production clear. A lot of people use it for show clear too. A lot of people look down on it, says, oh, it's just a production clear. 2000 clear is a production clear. 4000 is a clear. 2001, you got speed clear. You got 6700. You got 6800, which is speed clear. You got Diamond clear, makes a really good clear. BSF, which is Diamond. They have a wonderful clear. I think it's 5335. Matt can correct me on that. I hadn't sprayed none of that in years. I sprayed that at Petty's Garage when I worked there. Diamond or BSF clear, 5053. It is good. It is a good clear. It's finicky with its hardener. You got to use the right hardener and the right reducer, and you got to have the right airflow. If you don't, it don't do right. So it's very finicky. So I don't really have a favorite, but what is very Tamco's got some good clear. They're 2104. They have some good clears. They got high impact clear. Tamco has high impact clear that my buddy uses on sailboat rudders. He makes sailboat rudders, and he's been using, last time I talked to him, he's been using Tamco high impact clear. What's up, Mike? What's up, Big? So anything that's 1K is junk, okay? If you see something that's like, hey, this is a sealer, it's 1K, it's junk, right? It can't be a sealer if it don't have 2K in it. Stick to 2K products. Now, technology has came a long way. They have 2K products in rattle cans, and once you pierce them, you got like 48 hours to use it. I've used some of that stuff. I have some 2K clear that I need to fix the headlights on the LTZ. I'll probably do that. I'll probably do that over this break. I'll probably bring the LTZ in there and wet sand the headlights and spray it. But there's metal. Metal can tell y'all what the number is for BSF or BSF's show clear. I think it's 5335. They might have changed the number. Global is PPG's global line. That shit is the cat's meow. That's what they put on all their exotics, their high ends, their luxury cars, the Lambos, all that shit. That I've used global. They make a clear that is it's like 8152. It's like three different ones, like 8152, 81 something, and it's a semi-gloss clear. It's what they use on the Mercedeses and the BMWs and the Hellcats and all that shit to get that satin finish. That shit's expensive, and it only comes in quarts. You can't get it in gallons. It is expensive. I did a C10 truck with that stuff, man. They had almost $2,000 just in clear. And the thing about that clear is, I tried to tell them, you cannot use this clear and use regular soap and water. You have to buy a special soap and a special rag to wash this thing. You can't wax it, you can't polish it, you can't buff it, you can't do any of that shit. So these Hellcats, these BMWs, these Demons, these Lambos, all this stuff with these satin hoods and these semi-gloss hoods, they're not washing them things with regular Dawn dishwashing soap and a damn loofah from Walmart. That ain't happening. The Demons and the Hellcats, they come with special soap. You know, you can't polish that shit. You can't do none of that shit. Let's see. Outcast in my in my thing. Somebody dropped my email. $200 a gallon for what? What's $200 a gallon? Somebody dropped my email in the chat for Outcast Motorsports 7425. What's $200 a gallon? Yeah. You can't use none of that shit on that, man. You can't use spray away glass cleaner. You can't use Windex, because the more you rub it with that other shit, you're going to make it end up being flat. Just completely flat. Just completely flat. I got a book either down there in the booth or in my back there in the back that has the different shades of that global clear. Yeah, you can't. What's up, John? Yeah, you cannot. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. We're on our way to 10,000, boys and girls. Yeah, it'll be splotchy. It'll be splotchy as hell. Look, I did mine. Appreciate that, Mike. Where you at? Outcast Motorsports. There's my email address, man. Email me with your information and I'll give you a call or whatever. You just email me, whatever. What's up, Ray? So, yeah, so there is a lot, man. I got so much information in my head. And my wife told me the other day, she said, you give all this shit out for free. You give all this shit out for free. I could be like Willie Rebuild. I could make memberships $19. I don't know. On my end, it says $14.99 and $19.99 on my end. He don't give out shit for free. He don't give out shit. Yeah. I genuinely like helping people. I got a message. It's 1 o'clock. I got to check the temperature. I'm hoping I can spray. We're gonna stay on here for just a few more minutes. I appreciate everybody tapping in. I got a message last night. Can I call collect? Hey, I did get a collect call one day. Guy was locked up, and it's funny that Mike says that, or it's funny that John says that. I looked down at my phone and I had a collect call, and I was like, that says like county jail. And I'm like, all right. I was like, somebody calling me from the county. So I said, hello? And it says, well, you collect, it says, it says, this is such and such, detention center, blah, 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 blah. Will you accept a collect call from such and such, such and such? And I'm like, I don't even know who that is, right? I was like, I don't even know who that is. Because a lot of people, I know them by their nicknames. I don't know them by their government names, right? Or I remember what car they drive, right? And I said, yeah, I'll accept. And then the guy answered the phone. He's like, hey, man, what's up? And I was like, nothing much, man. He's like, hey, man, this is so-and-so. And I said, oh, what's up? I said, man, I know you didn't waste your only call to call me from county. And we talked about what he wanted to talk about. And I laughed, and he laughed. And he's like, yeah, can you? I was like, yeah, man, I can take care of that. I can get the message. Yeah, so I got down. So here's the crazy part, right? He couldn't remember nobody's number. He couldn't remember nobody's number, right? But when he got locked up for something stupid, like it wasn't criminal, it was just stupid, right? It wasn't like he committed a crime or nothing like that. It was just stupid. He had one of my shirts on. And when they took him out and put him in his stripes, my number was on the damn shirt, and that's the only number that he could remember. And he called me. Now, he lived like 2 counties over, and I give him a shirt at the Peach Festival, and he had my damn shirt on with my number on it, and he called me and asked me, he called me and says, hey, man, can you tell so-and-so to tell so-and-so, because we knew somebody together, which was right across on the other side of right on the other side of town. And I said, yeah, I'll go to the barbershop and I'll go to the barbershop and tell who you want me to tell. He's like, yeah, man, I'm locked up in county, man. This fucking shit's bullshit. Yeah. So, no, he wasn't a customer. No, John, he wasn't a customer. No, he was a guy I give a free shirt to at the Peach Festival. It was some guy add it to his bill for his holiday. Yeah. So that is crazy, man. I mean, I got so many shit like that, so many stories. Hey, Outcast, did you get the email? Outcast, did you get the email that I got pinned? Yeah, it wasn't Carolina Big. This was a couple years ago. Because one time I set up down there at the Peach Festival, and I just give shirts and hats away until I didn't have any more. I just give them away. It isn't the whole Peach Festival recorded. Yeah, it's recorded. Yeah. Okay, all right, good. He got the email. So yeah, boys and girls, I'm gonna try to get some stuff situated and see if I can see what the temperature is. If I have to, I can turn the heat on in the booth. I got it's 80,000 BTU heat. I could turn it on and knock the moisture out of the air and stuff. It'd probably take me about an hour to get everything taped up and ready to go and cleaned up. But I'd like to, if I don't do anything today except get it in epoxy, I got 7 days to get back on it. So if I can at least get the epoxy on it today, then maybe tomorrow I can put some color on it. But that's where I'm looking at. So I hope everybody got something from this. I know this kind of just blew up into wiring up a Trinary switch, but also we got talking about paint. I hope somebody, I got a cross draft. I got a cross draft booth. I got a cross draft booth with 1 million. I got a cross draft booth with 1 million looms of light. I need to change out some of the bulbs. They had a Black Friday sale where they were selling 5-gallon bright white paint. I just can't do it right now because of holidays, but I need to take all the bulbs out of the booth and I need to pressure wash the walls and let it dry. And then I need to go rent me a damn bucket sprayer and respray all the metal walls. They're white now, but they just need to be resprayed. Get the booth coating on it and just respray them and go from there. I don't prefer either one of them. That's cars in the cut. Well, man, I appreciate it. Yeah. Hey, Mike, I will send you a picture. I have 1 million looms of high output LED lights in that son of a gun. Natural light, 1 million. I wish I had more light in here. Yeah. Boys and girls, I appreciate every single one of you. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Remember what I said, don't worry about the man up the road or down the road. Sweep off your own front porch or sweeping off anybody else's. Put God first, let loose and drag. Peace, love, and chicken grace. I'm out.